Hi, I'm Josie from Funky Needlework, and yesterday I said that I would come back on today and talk to you about an idea that I have about couch quilts. So a couch quilt is kind of what it says on the tin really. A couch quilt is something you use when you're sitting on the couch, when it's too cold to be kind of without some extra layers but too warm to put the heating on, or you're economising a bit, that's what you use. So I thought I'd show you my couch quilt because I actually have one of these, and my couch quilt is this one. So this is my couch quilt. This is made for me by my lovely friend Jill, and I absolutely love it. It's sort of about that size, doubled over, and you can double it over, and it's got a label on the back so I know who it's from. It's fabulous. I absolutely love it. It sits on the back of my chair, and then should I feel the need, bit chilly, pull it down across me. Nothing fuddy-duddy or shameful or anything about that. I absolutely love it. I'm also going to show you another quilt that this is something my grandma made. And so one of my grandmas was a tailoress, the other one wasn't. The one that wasn't made things from necessity more than beauty standpoint. However, I think that this is beautiful, and I really love it because her idea of a design was, look at this fabric, wow. Her idea of a design was to put the patterned pieces on one side and the plain pieces on the other, and she even used, wait till I find it, the end of the roll that had the writing on it. Nothing went to waste in her house. And so whenever we went to hers, it was always, there were quilts everywhere, just very, very warm, cosy place. So I have this idea. Sorry, Grandma. So I have this idea, and the idea is that if you have a lot of scraps, as I do, as a lot of you people who are quilters do, I would like to share my quilting scraps. My current scrap box, and I've been sorting them out as I go, is this one. And this is full of little bits of batik, and also in the bottom, I'll pull out some of this. So in here, oh, there we go. So we do a lot of pre-cuts. So we have hexagon pre-cuts. Now this is obviously what comes off around the edge, and we don't waste that. That goes into something else. So I'm going to use some of this today and start off my first couch quilt, and hopefully it won't take me very long to make this, and then I'll show you the finished product. And the couch quilt will go to somebody who is cold this winter for whatever reason. We're not getting into why, we're just sort of saying that people will be cold and we don't want them to be. So I'm going to use paper strips. So this is paper. This is the fabric that we've got. Now I'm going to look for, oh, there's a green one here. Okay. So this is a lovely shape because it's a nice irregular shape, and I'm just going to put it on the end of the paper, and I'm not going to cut anything off it. There we go. So that's how we're going to start it off. And then I'm going to find, I was going to have another piece. Let me just see how far over I can do this. Okay. So there we've got that piece. I'm going to put this other piece on the top, stitch it on and flip it over. Now when I flipped it over, I'm going to trim it a little bit, but I'm not going to trim a lot of this off because this extra weight that's left in the quilt will give extra body and fabric and, you know, just a little bit of extra stuff. So I've got my sewing machine down here. I know you can't see this, but if I move the phone, it'll fall off its perch, and we really don't want to drop the phone. It'll be 10 seconds, I promise. Okay, and brilliant. Okay. Clearly needs a new thread cutter for that machine. Okay, so I've got that, and I'm going to iron that back. I'm going to make lots and lots of strips of this, irregular shapes. And where's the cushion? There it is. I've made a cushion out of this, or Brona did. So that's the kind of thing it's going to be. Now, quilts like this are lovely, but if you're making quilts like this for children or something like that, you might want to include a bit of variety, or a bit of design, or a bit of pattern, or something like that. So if you make a big sheet like this, you could then cut from this a butterfly or fish or whatever else, to giraffes. You could have a giraffe. I could see that being a giraffe shape myself. One of those shapes out of this, and then applique it onto something else. I'm hoping that everybody's got enough scraps to just make this without it costing them any money. That's my plan, to do it like that. And I'm also going to tag together my little bits of wadding and my bits of leftover fleece and things like that, so that I'll make it's totally a scrappable quilt. You can, of course, use just leftover clothes that are not worthy of giving to the charity shop if they're too holy. I'm going to bring them back on camera. Brilliant. So this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. You could also make it into a chenille quilt. So this is chenille, and this is layers and layers of fabric. You could put the tiny little scraps in between, and you get all that lovely colour coming through. So we're going to have a look at all of that kind of quilt. I'm going to make this one. I'm going to get cracking today, and hopefully by maybe next Friday I'll have it finished. I've got other things to do as well in the meantime, so I'm gonna get cracking with this on Friday. I'm gonna hope that some other people are gonna join in and make a quilt as well. So this is the kind of thing we're aiming for. Tiny little scraps on your strips of paper. You don't have to use strips of paper. You could just use another piece of fabric at the back as your backing piece if you want to. Scrappy quilts, and that's what we're gonna do. I'll see you next Friday, if not before. I might post pictures of updated progress and see how we get along. Feel free to send me yours as well. Okay, thank you. Bye.